It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Prime Time.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the world's steel capital in the city of Bridges, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Acrisure Stadium.
Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Before kickoff, Charles, quickly your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I can give you the standard ones, turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
Here's Jason Sanders now to get this one started.
And with the terrible towels waving wildly, we are underway from Pittsburgh.
And fighting down inside the 25.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. Under center is a 6'2", 225-pound signal caller, Aaron Rodgers.
There have been very few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been as consistent throughout their career as Aaron Rodgers. He's been good for so long, and we've seen no decline in his skills. His accuracy and arm strength continue to elevate the talent around him, and his in-game mistakes, few and far between.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield, marking down at the 49. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage. Opening quarter, his opening carry of the game, and I think they'll give it to him a few more times, as they should.
You're exactly right about that. With that type of a run, you want to repeat it many times until they show signs of stopping it. I think he did his visualization exercise before this one, and they're paying off.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Rodgers going to throw. Right side complete. That's Woods. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
That's his first catch of the game, and an impressive one against multiple defenders. Mike McDaniel, he's going to ask him to take a closer look at this call, and out comes the challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass.
Throwing is Rodgers.
Another targeting catch for Robert Woods.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Right back to him for 10 more and a first.
That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical it would be this easy, but they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of. Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Here's Rodgers.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Now it's Rodgers.
And that one behind his receiver and incomplete.
The Dolphins do the job defensively there, and now it brings up 4th.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
You want to talk about a driven player, partner. This guy is absolutely that person. He doesn't just have goals in this game. He wants to be remembered among the best to play the position, and he treats every game as an audition for that. It's a lofty goal to set for yourself, but we've seen his drive lead to some impressive games from him. Perhaps another one is in store today.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10.
Just shy of the 30.
In motion, Hill. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa.
Looking sideline, incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Tua.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hill.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and it goes down.
T.J. Watt in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down.
Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
On 4th down, Ryan Stonehouse on to punt. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin.
It's taken to the 26. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. That's complete to DK Metcalf. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Here's 2nd and 3.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
On play action, now Rodgers. Looking for Austin, intercepted. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. Well, look, we're watching a quarterback here that's obviously been around for a long time. That's a throw he wishes he had back.
He certainly does, but as you well know, this is a guy that's used to taking a few chances, used to fitting it into tight windows. These are throws that he's made before. Didn't happen to get it completed in this case.
So Miami coming out for their second drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
After the turnover, it's Tua. That's going to be caught downfield by Hill.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3 and out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
In motion, Hill. Play action, now it's Tua. That's out to Hill, right side complete. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it'll be second down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
The clock running here, under a minute to go now in the first quarter of a 3-0 game.
Now Tua going to fake the jet sweep and the handoff as he'll drop to throw it.
They dial up the corner blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss.
They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
They set up the screen. Achane has it.
And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. And the first play will be a field goal try. From the left hash, this from 34. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins are going to tie the score at 3.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Field goal's all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Got his man. It's Warren.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body because those defenders are trying to punch it free.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up second.
Well, on that one, they go with a play fake, CD, but I don't think anybody really was fooled. All eyes were fixated on the quarterback, and they got him to the ground.
And to run this play successfully, you've got to make sure that everyone is doing their part. You actually have to sell this play. You've got to sell the run action. Otherwise, why do you stop at the running back? You just run straight for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Now run straight ahead with Warren.
And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
And the Dolphins beef up the secondary here as they look to stop him on 3rd down. Throwing now is Rodgers.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd.
Running their plays over and over during the week can often get robotic for an offense, but on game day they can often flow smoothly, as that one just did.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
On the give, it's Warren. He'll take it inside the 25.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Running left, it's Warren.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
From the gun, it's Rodgers.
Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth. And he will have a Steelers first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
I'd love to sit down at some point in our offseason and talk to these defensive coordinators. In the red zone, tight end is obviously a big threat, yet these guys continue to make plays. Is there any other way to stop them?
Apparently not. In the red zone, like you said, that's your guy. They got it to him.
Supreme confidence in going to a playmaker.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's 2nd down.
That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
Here comes third and about a foot.
Rodgers now to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Steelers are going to be set up with a first and goal as they get the conversion there on 3rd and inches.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. Patterson looking for a signal, but none forthcoming. They stopped him shy of the goal line.
Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
Warren diving for the end zone, and he'll get there. Touchdown. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range.
Tua going to throw. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. And the slot man goes in motion left. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Washington. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. It's hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts?
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now,
as he'll punt it away for the second time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. Here's Austin. A strong running. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We saw a solid first half out of running back Jaylen Warren. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return.
The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10
at their own 26. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Washington with a catch, middle of the field. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
In motion, Hill.
He's going to get it on the jet sweep. Oh, this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
T.J. Watt, always a disruptor, there to blow that play up.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
And Tua going to slide to a halt, but he will have the first down.
A good pick up there, 26 yards.
Has not been a big game for him throwing the football. I think he feels like, let's try something different. Let's use the legs here and see if we can make some plays.
And no passing touchdowns, yardage not where he would like it. Try something new, it worked there. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
A run straight ahead with Achane.
Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Looking to pass, Tua.
This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And Waddle going to have a Dolphins first down as he'll get this down to the 23.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Tua sets up to pass it. Throw left side, taken in by Washington. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that'll make it second down.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can pull it down in the end zone, but the coverage was good, and it winds up incomplete.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to him.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit.
He made his first, this from 47 yards out. The kick by Sanders is good, and that'll bring him back within 4.
So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2.
Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive.
Boston, the man in motion left.
He'll get it here on the jet sweep.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29.
Rodgers going to throw. On the right side, this is Austin with a catch. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Here's Rodgers to throw. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to first.
It certainly appears that he's been able to get a read on how they've wanted to contain him in this game. He's seen some places where he can beat them in big spots, and right there, he slides in with ease for the first down.
1st and 10, it's Patterson.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Now Rodgers.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. To throw is Rodgers.
Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
Oh, man, that is just a flat miss. He's in the pocket. The protection holds up. He sees his man come free, but maybe he just gets a little excited about the prospect of a long touchdown.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and it'll be Dolphin football.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Here's Achane to start the drive.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And 3rd and 1 now. One quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. Here's Tua.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
The tackle by Cole Holcomb. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. Let's rely more on the passing attack.
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 22 yards there, a first down.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Now Tua.
He'll dump this off to Achane.
So he stopped for no gain, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Back to throw here. This will be caught by Brown. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 30. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
In motion, Hill. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Over the middle and complete to Waddle. And the Dolphins are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Achane will take this in for the Dolphin touchdown.
And this is a time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with the touchdown run to take the lead.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that gives him a 3-point lead. So that one a long 11-play drive.
And the drive finished off with a touchdown run from Devon Achane.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
So Aaron Rodgers and his offense down by a field goal, a little under 2.5 to go. Plenty of time here. They've got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Now Rodgers. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure, or do they play coverage on this down?
And now a tough spot here. This is 3rd and 10.
To throw, it's Rodgers. Buying time to his left. And he is stopped just short on 3rd down. Got 9 yards, but needed 10. Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And they've got a 4th down now in a game that, to be honest, has been pretty much everything we could have asked for. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Well, they did the part they had to do. Quick throw, got the first down.
But that doesn't allow them to relax. They still have plenty of work to do.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. That's to Freiermuth.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Here's 1st and 10.
Rodgers to throw. And he'll complete this one to Patterson. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, on maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on 1st down. They're ahead of the chains now.
To throw is Rodgers.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted.
Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns. And he will bring it back. It's a pick-6 and a Dolphins touchdown. And so much for the game-winning 2-minute drive. I think that interception return there pretty much seals the deal.
And one thing to keep in mind, in this situation with the score that close, defense isn't backing off and just giving you easy throws. They're playing aggressively as well, and they end up picking that one off and sealing the deal for themselves.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Steelers offense and Aaron Rodgers getting set for their next drive. And it's been a rough night at the office for him. He's been more of a liability than an asset throughout the contest. And this offense is having a hard time overcoming his struggles to this point. They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Now Rodgers. The Dolphins get there this time and they bring him down. They dial up the corner blitz that time and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss.
He already did his primary job with an interception earlier, but here he gets a chance to be a pass rusher and takes on the challenge of blitzing and makes another big play. That's something to file away and maybe break out later in this one or in a future game.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here.
Back to throw, Rodgers. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This defense has been so stingy all game long. No reason to think it's suddenly going to open up now. They took their shot, but this, like many others, falls incomplete.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now.
Now Rodgers got to have this one. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. He's got a man complete. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with a clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Problem for them, they needed that score with a little more time left on the clock. I think just too little too late now.
I would agree with that, and we're programmed never to say never. But in this case, we're asking a lot for them to even think they have a chance.
Boswell for the extra point. It's up and good, and the lead's now down to 3 at 20-17. So that drive, 4 plays.
And in the end, a Calvin Austin touchdown grab finished the drive off.
So with just a few ticks left, they need a miracle. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. A big mistake in that spot. You got to let it go 10.
They didn't give themselves a chance. They had an opportunity, touched it first. Now they're in a really bad spot.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Victory very likely now for the Dolphins as they take a knee here. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Down to a knee goes Tua, and that should just about do it. That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the 4th quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Pittsburgh.